Market Report on WHOW at our new time, 5:06 p.m. weekdays.
I never thought about being a salesperson ever until I realized we are all in sales. I'm Pat Bryson, and I've spent my entire adult life creating campaigns for businesses using the powerful medium of radio. The Miller Media Group has immediate openings in our sales department, and we might be looking for you. The person who will excel in sales is self-managed and self-motivated to achieve higher goals. They win if they help other people to win. They enjoy helping local businesses succeed. This is a full-time job. If you are good enough to join our team, we will train you and support you. I train salespeople all over the world, and I'm ready to help you become a top multimedia specialist with the Miller Media Group. Previous sales experience is a plus, but not a requirement. But a long-term career is. Are you looking for us? Send your resume to sales@randyradio.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the phone today, Monticello Police Chief Rob Bross. Good morning, Chief. It's good to talk to you. How are you today?
Hey, good. How are you, Seth?
Doing great. Thanks for asking. How's your summer going over there in Monticello? We're finally getting into that summer heat that I think, had anticipated here for a while. How are things in Monticello right now?
Oh, they're picking up. I mean, it was nice to have that 1 week of spring, but now we delved full head first into some summer, and we have a lot of events around town, which means also a lot of driving traffic coming to and from town.
Yeah, sure, definitely. I know that keeps you all hopping for sure. And, Chief, one thing that does keep you hopping as well, and we're going to dive into a little bit here, is traffic accidents. And, it feels like, or I would think at least, like the summertime, those maybe slow down. I mean, I know more people are out on the road, but I would think things like, maybe rain in the fall, in the winter, or snow and ice, like I would think those things tend to create more accidents. But you were telling me in the break that you're seeing quite a few accidents, and it's a spectrum on the opposite ends of each other of ages. What do you have for us? What are you noticing in Monticello right now?
Yeah, just in the last, couple months, we've really noticed that we've had a disproportionate number of accidents with drivers under the age of 18 and over the ages of 70. I don't know why. It kind of ebbs and flows, and every now and then you get a curveball, but it just seems like, obviously, the kids are out of school, nicer days, and everyone, no one wants to be cooped up inside. Everyone wants to go out and enjoy the nice days, so obviously more traffic and more accidents sometimes.
Sure. Well, let's start with, and you were telling me teenagers seem to be kind of one of the more active groups right now. So what are you noticing with the teens and some of the maybe issues or encouragements you have for them? How about that?
Well, I mean, with teenagers, they don't have, 10, 15, 20 years of driving experience, so usually a little inexperienced. But really, it's trying to get them to calm down. Usually, I remember as a teen, you think about everything that you want to do, that you're going to do, and sometimes don't focus on driving. We really want to try to tell the kids to just slow down, relax, and don't always rely on some of the safety features that we have. We have backup cameras, which are a great thing, but what we've noticed is people kind of rely on backup cameras too much, which is great for right behind you, but if you look to your sides, you don't always get that wide-angle view. So if you're backing out and you just see, oh, there's no one behind me, you may not see someone, leaving the grocery store in their cart, walking from one side to the other, and by the time you hit them, it's too late. So we're definitely trying to tell people to look behind you and to the sides and not just to rely on the camera.
Yeah. Well, you touched on one thing there, Chief. I was going to say, kind of in their defense, back when you and I started driving, I don't know for you, for me, it was the CD player. The CD player was the cool thing. We didn't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and we didn't have the aux cord and all of that. It was CDs. I don't know if yours was cassettes or not, if you're old enough for cassettes.
Cassettes. That was my first one, and then you had the CD player that you could plug into the cassette player.
Oh, there you go. So a little distraction for sure. But these kids have so much going on. I mean, they've got the dashboard stuff. You talked about the cameras. They've got the phones. They've got so much that can distract them behind the wheel. I'm sure that the curriculum around driving for kids has evolved. But golly, it's a different animal until you get behind the wheel with all those things, I'm sure.
Oh, it really is. We definitely try to push, leave the cell phone in the center console, put it in the cup holder, do whatever you have to do. And it's not just the cell phone. Sometimes it's I know with my two kids, if they're going on in the back, that's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I have to turn down the radio just because I want to be able to, someone's yelling at me, hey, I'm behind you. I want to be able to hear them, so I'll crack the window and turn down the radio. Same thing. Don't eat or drink while you're trying to back up or drive if you can avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing, especially with teen drivers, is if you have an accident, try to stay calm. It's a big deal. Everyone worries about it. But we've had a couple instances where a kid maybe, gets in a little fender bender and then in a panic just drives off. We aren't the big bad bullies. We aren't going to come and yell and scream and everything else at you, but try to stay calm, stay there, and make sure you're okay, and then call 911.
For some kids, this would have been me in high school. It wasn't the police yelling at me that worried me. It was my dad when I got home, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, that's what they are collisions, but what we try to tell people is they're accidents. They aren't called on purposes. They are called accidents. No one goes out and intends to try, bump into the person in front of them or sideswipe somebody. That it's just accidents, and that's what we take them at face value. But definitely, especially teenagers, try to stay calm, in case anything happens.
Very good. Chief, in talking about, teens and driving and those sorts of things, and I'm sure I'm not alone when I say this, but, kind of the jaded side of me, when I see the police reports come out and I, just kind of skim through them and you see a teenager involved in whether it's a fender bender, a property accident, some of those things, my mind, I would say automatically more times than not goes to, well, I wonder if that kid had a cell phone in their hands while they were driving. You know what I mean? It's one of those deals. What do you see with that thing?
I mean, yeah, they use their cell phone a lot more, but on the same end, we have their parents and older people that use their cell phone pretty regularly too. So usually we mark it up to. I mean, yes, there are some cell phone accidents, but a lot of it's just inexperience. You have somebody coming in, you're trying to pull into a driveway or a business. Maybe you don't time it right, and you either hit them or they hit you because they're unable to slow down in time.
Right.
It's just a lot different, having 2 months of, driving experience rather than 20 years of driving experience.
Sure. Monticello Police Chief Rob Bross on the phone with us here for today. And, Chief, you were also indicating to me before we got started, you kind of see the other end of the spectrum, those individuals with just years and years and decades of experience. And, I know I've had family members that have had to deal with this, where it's, do we take the keys away from mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or great-grandma, great-grandpa, because it's to a point where maybe they shouldn't be behind the wheel, and those are hard conversations to have. Speak to maybe that side of the equation and what you've been dealing with lately.
Sure. I mean, I was in the same boat with my grandparents. My grandfather unfortunately had dementia, but the state of Illinois actually allowed him to renew his driver's license. So, that was a conversation my dad and I had with my grandmother and grandfather, and ended up having to take his license away. But with older drivers, yes, they have the experience, but sometimes the reaction time is a little bit slower. So what we try to tell people is, obviously, if you want to make sure that you are rested. Nothing's worse than being completely tired and you just need to run that one more errand. Stay rested. An alert driver is a safe driver. And then also, obviously, the more medications you take, the more careful you have to be. A lot of these medications may say, don't operate, a vehicle, after, for 2 hours after use. You really have to make sure that you talk with a pharmacist or your doctor and see if it's safe to drive after you take some of these medications.
Chief, I'll tell you what, one time, this is just a story off the beaten path. One time I had a really bad cold, and I took this, I don't remember what it was. It was something new I hadn't taken before, and it just knocked me out senseless, Chief, and I had to be somewhere. I had to call my wife and say, hey, I am so groggy, I cannot see straight. You got to come pick me up, and I don't even remember where I had to go. I had to be maybe my mom's or something. Anyways, it's one of those things. Like sometimes you just may never know it's coming. Like I had no idea that was going to happen to me. So you do got to be careful with those things. It can knock you out sometimes.
Oh yeah, and it'll sneak up on you. I mean, you and I are about the same age, and you take some medication, then 3 hours later you wake up saying, "Whoa, what just happened?" So definitely got to be careful with Dayquil, NyQuil, things like that may make you a little more drowsy than usual.
Chief, when it comes to older drivers, whether they're fit for the road or they are not, what encouragements do you have for them in terms of when they're on the road, or if they're dealing with certain circumstances? What do you caution them or encourage them to do with some of those things?
Definitely, making sure you're rested. Speed affects a lot of things. The faster you go, the shorter reaction time you have. So if you drive a little bit slower, that's fine. If sometimes I've seen it on the interstate. You get an older person driving, and people are passing them doing 90 miles an hour. You know what? Those people doing 90 are going to get an accident way before that person doing say 65 or the speed limit at 70. So if you can slow down a little bit, just give yourself that extra time to react to something that may happen in front of you. Also, if you can reach out to the AAA or the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, yep. A lot of times they have classes for elderly drivers. And if you take that class, a lot of times if you give it to your insurance company, they will give you a reduced rate. Now, it may be only a few percentage points, but you know what? I'll save money where I can. So that's also a possibility for them. No question. Chief, what did we miss in that conversation this morning? Anything we didn't touch on you want to put out there for us today? No, I think just, be careful, stay calm if you can. And, if anything ever happens, an accident or, whether it involves you or another vehicle, anything like that, make sure you're safe and then call 911 and let us know. Monticello Police Chief Rob Bross on the phone with us this morning. More to come with the Chief on the morning show.
WHOW.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road?
Get over!
First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death.
What if it's you that's on the side of the road? Do you want everybody to move over for you?
Do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it.
There are a lot of inconsistencies when growing soybeans. The soil, the weather, the market. You need something you can count on, like Revitech fungicide from BASF. It consistently out-yields other fungicides by up to 9.5 bushels per acre. consistently wins in on-farm head-to-head comparisons, and consistently makes for happy farmers. Revitec Fungicide. Visit revxfields.com for full results. Always read and follow label directions. Yield data based on summary of 2019 through 2022 Revex Field Scale Demonstration Trials.
John Prater here, your new country financial agent at 320 East Van Buren in Clinton. I'd love to meet you as I get connected to the Clinton community. Find out more by clicking on my icon at dewitdailynews.com.
ConnectSys will provide local, reliable, affordable, and speed-of-light fiber internet to Clinton. Get on the install list now by clicking the ConnectSys icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber internet is coming to Clinton. Get on the install list now.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Monticello Police Chief Rob Bross on the phone with us for today. And Chief, I know it is vacation season. I know my family's hitting the road at the end of the week for a short trip, and I'm sure a lot of folks in the same boat. Let's talk vacation safety. Let's first highlight, though, the Monticello Vacation Watch Program, Monticello Police Department Vacation Watch Program. What's this program and what's it all about, Chief?
So pretty much, if we have any residents that are going to be traveling out of town for an extended period of time, they can make a request, and what we will do is drive by the house, make sure that the residence is secured, windows aren't broken out, anything like that. And all they have to do is go to our City of Monticello website, and under the police department on the left-hand side is a request a residential vacation check. And all they have to do is input their name, a phone number, a good phone number that we can contact them at when they're out of town, their address, the dates that they will be gone. And this is the important part. Anyone that's going to be at the house, like a house sitter, or if somebody's going to come over to bring the mail in and the newspaper or whatever the case may be, that's going to be very important for us, because the worst thing we'd want to do is go by someone's house at 7 o'clock at night, and someone says there's not supposed to be a vehicle there, and all of a sudden we see a red car in the driveway. So if anybody's going to be watching over the house, they can add that. And then all they have to do is click submit, and it gets put on our list. And if they like the old school way, and if they want to come in, Wendy, my administrative assistant, she's more than happy to get their information down, and we can put it in the system that way.
You may have said it and I missed it, Chief. How often do your guys drive by? What's your kind of protocol on checking on the home from that point on?
So we try to daily. Obviously, if we're getting 15 calls a shift, that's a little difficult to do, but we actually have a checklist, and we check the house daily on average.
Chief, when it comes to vacations themselves, we had our chief of police in last week, and he's always got great tips on, what to do with your home. Maybe somebody out there's listening and they say, well, I don't really need the Vacation Watch program. My neighbor's going to come by and pick up the mail. My sister who lives across town is going to come mow the yard and take the trash out and those sorts of things. But what kind of tips do you have for somebody that maybe doesn't dial up your number and take advantage of that service to keep their home safe while they're away?
Sure. Definitely secure your windows and doors. Make sure they're locked. If you have any devices in there that should be unplugged, definitely unplug them. If you can, make your home look occupied. So a lot of people buy the timers from Walmart or Target or wherever the case may be that you can plug in a lamp or two. And let's say it comes on every day at 6 o'clock and turns off at 5 in the morning, something along those lines, to make it look like at least someone's in your house. If you're going to be, short of a long weekend, if you're going to be gone for a few weeks, or you're going to enjoy somewhere for a month or two, you may want to consider holding your mail if you don't have anybody coming in to pick it up. And you said it, you hit the nail on the head. Maintain your yard. If you can get someone to mow, because the biggest, alert for us at least is if you're driving by and everyone else's yard is mowed and yours isn't, we kind of have an idea of who's not at home. Keep valuables out of sight. you get somebody just knocking on doors. You don't want a wide open window showing, all your fine jewelry or anything else. Try to put those away. If you have a home security system, including cameras, please make sure they work. We found out a few months ago with some burglaries, we had a lot of people with those Ring or Nest cameras that didn't charge them or they didn't have them hooked up. So if you have those, definitely make sure that the batteries are charged or everything's working the way it should.
You mentioned, the crime spree there, Chief. Do you find that those individuals are they people just going door to door, knocking to see who's home? On the lookout for, houses that are vacant and the signs that you talked about. Maybe the grass isn't mowed. Maybe the mail is piling up, or I don't know if people still get newspapers, but are the newspapers starting to pile up on the porch? Are there packages from Amazon not taken in? Are they kind of porch pirates as they call them? Going from house to house, or are they people known to these individuals? What do you find when you encounter those sprees of crime?
So knock on wood, ours were vehicles that were unlocked. Every single one of them were unlocked. We haven't had the rash of home burglaries, but that's not to say that it doesn't happen once in a while. So a lot of people, and you mentioned this too, the Amazon deliveries. We get a lot of times we get vacation checks, and we'll take a look at the house and there's 5 Amazon boxes out there because they either forgot that they ordered something or somebody didn't bring it in. That's a telltale sign. Nobody leaves Amazon boxes out for longer than an afternoon if they can avoid it. So definitely make sure that you're wary of what you order online and when it's going to be delivered if you're gone.
Very good. Well, Chief, one more time. By the way, did we get to everything on the Vacation Watch stuff, or the vacation, home security, those things? Did we get to everything you want to put out there?
Yep, I believe so.
Well, one more time, Chief, just again, highlight the Vacation Watch program through the police department, how folks get registered for that. You mentioned the online component. That's super convenient. Where do they go for that?
So yes, if you Google City of Monticello, Illinois vacation check, it'll pop up and you just click on the link on Google, or you can go to the City of Monticello's website under police, and on the left-hand side it'll say request a residential vacation check.
Mm-hmm.
You just enter all the information there and click submit. And like I said, if you like the old school way and you're out driving around, want to stop by all means stop by, and then we can do a paper form and then enter it in the system.
Fantastic. Hey, Chief, appreciate you making time for us. Enjoy your summer. We'll catch up as we go along here. Thanks for your time as always.
Hey, thank you, and you do the same.
That is Monticello Police Chief Rob Ross joining us on the phone line this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way next on the morning show. We take a look at that weather forecast as well. All that and more coming up next. The morning show streams live online all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way now.
WHOW.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The U.S.